There's been a lot of talk about real estate recently, especially with all of the interest rate hikes. I know of many people who just purchased their new home and others are staying away from real estate. There's a dichotomy in how people perceive real estate at this time. On today's show, I want to discuss the fiduciary duties that a real estate agent must abide by, what to look for when buying a property, what to look for when selling a property, and what to look for when becoming a real estate investor. To help us understand the buying and selling of real estate properties, I'm joined by Matilda Nestoroska, broker, RE/MAX Aboutowne Realty Corp in Oakville. To begin with, let's look at hiring a real estate agent. Matilda, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me over.
Sorry, your firm about RE/MAX Aboutowne Realty just seems to be a mouthful for me today. I'm not sure what's going on here. But what I want to do is I want to talk about the difference between a client and a customer representation in the real estate transaction.
Yes, and I would say majority of people don't even know that it exists. Okay, so in province of Ontario, you can be represented as a customer. This is self-represented party, or as a client to which we owe fiduciary duties. Now, this information must be explained to parties before signing any documents, and that's where majority of agents actually fail. They don't explain it properly. So simple example for that would be if someone comes into my open house and they say they don't have or they don't need an agent, they just want me to prepare an offer. They will not be represented by me. They will be customers, and I don't need to give them any advices. I don't need to do anything for them, just physically prepare an offer. And you definitely don't want to be that.
You know, it's really interesting because I always talk about reading the fine print. Read what you're signing, and a lot of people don't. They just look at the piece of paper, sign, and think that they're going to be okay. So that's a really important part that you had talked about. Let's talk about the kind of fiduciary duties that you owe to a client.
Yes, so to a client, we owe a whole set of fiduciary duties, including full disclosure. Everything and anything we know about the house, the seller, the neighborhood, we have to disclose to our client. We owe them obedience, so we have to obey their lawful instructions. We need to give them competence and consciousness care, so know what we're doing over there. We owe them their loyalty, okay? So they're going to be the first one to receive the information, not the customer. And then we owe them accounting. We have to treat their money better than if it was ours. So if they say their availability is up to 700, you should show them less than 700, not definitely above that.
That's important. So can a client cancel a contract prior to an expiry date?
Absolutely can. And a lot of agents probably hate me right now. But that's absolutely the truth. If you're really unsatisfied with the agent's performance, you should ask for cancellation of the agreement, which must be signed by all parties, including the broker of record. And not just that, I would advise them to go a step further and explain to broker of record what went wrong. So maybe it was a new agent and it's inexperienced, so they can provide them extra training so no mistakes are done again. Or if someone is just want to be sloppy, and they should definitely deserve the slap on the wrist.
Okay, so what are buyers' options with these crazy rates, and how can you actually qualify to buy with extreme high pre-qualifying stress test rate of 9.5%? I know that's a mouthful,
yes,
but it's an important mouthful.
It's gonna be like pulling teeth without an anesthesia, okay? So banks are trying to help right now, and they are allowing the parents come on a title. So this is a perfect time for you to be nice to your parents and siblings. Most of the banks actually will ask them to be on a mortgage and on a title, but I know a few banks that actually don't. So you can just help you to qualify. Otherwise, you on your own, it's not going to work.
So with so much information out there, everybody's got information at their fingertips. Why do you think buyers actually need a realtor?
Because of so many information, they actually really need an agent to sift through all that false information that's out there. We have a lot of websites sharing our listings, which we're really thankful for, but they go a step further and they do some estimates, which are completely wrong. No algorithm can take in consideration what the buyer is willing to pay, and that's exactly what buyers do lately with those multiple offers. They just go above and beyond, and even us experienced agents, our jaws drop when we see how much they sold for.
Okay, so when we come back, we're going to personalize it a little bit more, and we're going to talk about, what needs to be done when you are buying a property and the steps that need to be taken to protect yourself. So don't go away. We'll be back with more of Matilda and what to do when you're purchasing a property for yourself.